Yes, guys, I'm Si. Welcome to Ace Podcast Nation, the home of everything podcasts, previews, reviews, everything. We got all sorts of good stuff, and we've got a special one tonight. So, this is normally Wednesday night, is normally the Cardiff City show, championship show, mainly Cardiff City show, though. But obviously, Cardiff are playing away at Blackburn in the EFL Cup. So, what we're going to do is we're going to do a little preview now before the game kicks off. And then we're going to do a watch along. Might just do the watch along for the first half. I'm not sure yet. We'll see how I feel because I done a bit of driving today because I went to see my son in university. So I'm a bit tired and I've got to pick my other son up and blah, 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 blah. Lots and lots to do. So we'll see. But we're going to do the preview and then we're going to do a watch along of the first half. And then I think we'll probably leave it there from my point of view, just because I'm tired and stuff like that. And I've been a long day, but we'll see how we feel. I've got to get my son as well. But yes, so drop your comments in the chat, all that sort of stuff. It's going to be good stuff. We'll just wait for some of the latecomers now before we start the preview of Cardiff versus Blackburn in the EFL Cup. Be nice if Cardiff can keep going and keep their run going. 3 wins on the bounce at the moment, and it'd be nice to make it a 4th. I think there's something to be said for momentum. I know, like, ultimately the EFL Cup's not the most important thing, but if you look back to when Cardiff got to the League Cup final and when they got to the FA Cup final, their league form was pretty good in those seasons because winning becomes a habit. Momentum is massive. So let me just change this to a bit bigger. Reece, yeah, he's settling in all right, mate. He's only been there like a week or so, but we had to take some stuff up and that. He's already missed something from a hangover, but par for the course, I guess, isn't it? Zoom to fetch. Should we try that? There we go. There we go. So it's all good. I'm just gonna have a look and see if there's any the old team news. Can't do a predicted team. Well, I haven't seen the team, so what I will say is before I see the team is I would like to see a mixture of like first team players and some of those fringe players or players who need some games. Like, for instance, I'd like to see Colwell get a start. I'd like to see Panzo play. Well, I would like to. I'm assuming we're going to see also what's his head in goal, Runnison in goal. But let's have a look. Starting 11. So no spoilers. Let's read it out together and let's see. So I'd like to see Runnison. I'd like to see Panzo. I'd like to see Ruben Colwell get a start. Will I get my wish? Is another story. Let's have a look. Cardiff City. Looks like Colwell's in the starting lineup. I just seen his picture. Okay. Why is my Twitter like being weird? I will get the starting lineup in a minute, but for some unknown reason, that Twitter was from like 5 years ago. Starting 11. So you got Runnison, good. Romeo, yep, happy with that. Ebo Adams, Panzo, Rinamoto, Sawyer's captain, Kieran Evans, Tanner, Robinson, Colwell, Atete. So, look, the only change I would like to see to that is Atete. Someone I would like to see probably Robinson, where Atete is playing, and then get in someone else wide player wise. But I don't think that's the worst lineup, really. I think it's a good mix. I'm interested in how Rinamoto and Sawyers do. Been very much on the fringes. I haven't got any time at all over the season, really, other than the EFL has been their competition, I guess. So Blackburn have lost 3 of their last 6, whereas Cardiff have lost 1 of their last 6 in all competitions. So that's interesting to me because it shows that Blackburn have got a chink in their armour, as it were. Blackburn's lineups will be in Blackburn are a dangerous side. They got some really good players. They got some really good young players as well. So I'll be interested to see how they go about their business. Obviously, they beat Warsaw 4-3 in round 1, and then they smashed Harrogate 8-0 in the last round. So, but they lost 4-3 to Ipswich at the weekend. We know, Ipswich is a very good side. Actually, let's talk about that Sunderland game for Cardiff Sunderland. I was super, super impressed with how Cardiff went about their business. I thought they were absolutely excellent. And they deserved it. I was trying to find Matt messaged me, Matt Angel, who will be in a chat at some point, I'm sure, this evening. He predicted on Monday's show or last week's show that Cardiff would not only win 1-0, but McGuinness would score the winner in the something like 89th minute or whatever. So he couldn't have been much more spot on than what he was. I thought Cardiff were absolutely, it was about as good as an away performance as you can put on. One of the things which really pleased me was that we did what I was hoping, which was try to be relaxed on the ball, keep the ball. Alnwick was absolutely outstanding, Reece. You were 100% correct. I thought Perry NG was just superb again. I thought all the players played well. Obviously, Grant going off early doors or half-time was a bit of a blow. I thought Ruben Corwell had a really good cameo. It took him a few minutes to get going. But then once he got on, look, Cardiff should have won 3-0 in the end. Make no mistake, we missed 2 massive chances in injury time. And I did wonder if that was going to come to bite us late on. Gutas, probably the best game I've seen him play in a Cardiff shirt, although he's been excellent all of last week. So ever since they made that switch and switched him and McGuinness around, Gutas looks much more comfortable on the right-hand side as central defence. Ryan Wintle has been colossal this last week. Him and Siopis. I thought Joe Rawls did a good shift. Colwell made a massive difference when he came on. I thought Tanner's really coming into his own, although he should have scored at the end. Really coming into his own. You can tell he's buying into what the manager wants because the manager's using him more and more. When he got hooked at half-time the other week because he wasn't doing the defensive work, it's obviously hit home because he's gone back to that. I thought Ugbo was good again. I think he's really starting to grow. It's a Tete I really can't. I struggle with. I got to be honest. I don't like his body language. I don't like his work rate sometimes, particularly away from home. I think it's difficult. It looks like Tanner's going to get a new contract as well, and I think he probably deserves it because I don't think he'll be on particularly great money. So I think his performances merit a new contract to get him on par with some of the other people within the squad. I'd say Cardiff are going to line up in that 3-5-2, that 5-3-2 or 3-5-2 again. I think Romeo will play as one of the 3 with Adams and Panzo, and Evans and Tanner will be wing backs with Rinamoto and Sawyer. But the way the BBC's got it is the 5. Then they've got Robinson in the centre of Sawyers and Rinamoto. I don't see it like that. I think Rinamoto and Sawyers will sit as a 2, and Robinson and Colwell will play as almost like 2 number 10s, with Evans and Tanner being the width. So I think we'll play we'll try and congest the middle of the park to deal with some of the dangerous Blackburn players. Tronstad is really good for Blackburn. Is it Teljevic? I think it is. He's supposed to be really good. So, and then they've got Sigerson up front, Pickering, a couple of good boys in there. So the Cardiff, I can see why Cardiff have switched to that formation again in the EFL Cup. And you're right there, Reece, as the point I was going to make. Reece says, it's crazy a difference a real manager can have. Morrison was a coach, as was Hudson. and I didn't rate Limucci, but the impact Baloo has had on the players is unreal. They've all just shown real quality. But I think, do you know how encouraging it is where if you've got a manager who every game has got a plan? So you do your analysis of the game, the pre-Sunderland game on Monday. Yeah, you watch it back and he tells you like, oh, we did this well, we did that bad, whatever. And then he goes, right, we got Blackburn tomorrow. Blackburn like to play through the middle of the park and then utilize the wingers high up. So what we're going to do, this is our plan to deal with that. We're going to play with wing backs. We're going to make the middle really difficult to play through. And this is the way we're going to do it. We're going to have a mix of first teamers and rotation players. Whereas I think had less so with Mark, because I think Mark Hudson was kind of learning on the job. But certainly in Morrison's case, Neil Harris's case, that was more of a, this is how we play and this is it. Like, yeah, you should, to a certain extent, not worry about the opposition. And certainly when you're in form, you should play to your strengths. But also in the EFL Cup, you are going to see teams rotating. You are going to see teams trying different players. So they might have players that you're less familiar with. They might have young players who you've heard something special about. Like, make no mistake, like clubs have heard of Ruben Corwell. So they'll have one eye on him. It comes with the territory where you've got to be tactically aware as a manager and you've got to be able to change in and out of game. And the one thing I like about this Cardiff, or the way he sets up in the EFL Cup, is he's gone with this 3-5-2 a couple of times and it's worked. But you know what happens if it doesn't work? He'll mix it up. He'll change it up. And I love in the Cardiff City bench because do you know what that says to those players on the pitch? It says, I trust you to do the job. I trust you to follow my instructions and to play as well as you can play. And I trust you to win. And then we are going to go with, because you look how young that Cardiff City bench is. You've got Fagan Walcott in goal. You got the younger Colwell. Devontae Campbell is probably the most recognizable. Giles, turn like all the numbers, 31, 33, 34, 37, 40, 41, 45, 49, 50. There's not really any recognizable substitutes on that Cardiff City bench. Now, some would say that's a risk or he's throwing the competition away. I say he's trusting the first team players or the players from the first team squad. It's a squad game. He's trusting them to implement his instructions. If they don't implement his instructions, then he'll get the youngsters on who will. I really hope we get to see Colwell Jr. tonight, even if it's just a little cameo. I'd love to see him because I've said a few times, I've heard that he's even better. So it'd be interesting if we can get him on. Right, let's see if I can find my perfectly legal stream. But yeah, guys, if you want to talk about anything with these watch-alongs now, like it's difficult to do a preview because obviously the teams are out and stuff like that. And, we can talk about the Blackburn game, talk to me about the Sunderland game. Let's talk, baby. And also, by the way, another thing about the EFL Cup this year, if Cardiff can get through this round, one big team's going out tonight because Newcastle play Man City. Liverpool got a tricky game. Obviously, United went through yesterday. Like, you never know how these cups are going to kind of open up in the last stages. So I'd like to see us push on. My prediction, Sullivan L, is I got a feeling it might go to penalties. I do fancy Cardiff, though. I think, do you know what? Let's have a look at Blackburn's last lineup. I'd be interested to know how variable their lineup is. Let's have a look. So Blackburn played. Who does Blackburn play at the weekend? Ipswich, right? I'll tell you my prediction now when I've seen that. So Sigurdsson is the danger man, I think, up front. So hopefully, look, Panzo as well. as I've said to you before, I think he was brought in to play, but McGuinness has been so good that Panzo hasn't got a look in. So, yeah, so at the weekend, you've got Pickering played. Sigurdsson played off the left, but is playing up front tonight. Who else is there? And then it's pretty much fringe players and youngsters. So, they've got some good youngsters. Televic is a good player. And Tronstad is the one I would look to. I think he'll try and dictate play from deep. So if we can close them down. Yeah, they lost 4-3 to Ipswich at the weekend. I'm not going to go with penalties. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Cardiff City win. I think that I believe that if Cardiff can start and continue their good form, what I want to see from Cardiff tonight is I want to see us comfortable on the ball like we were in the derby against Coventry and against Sunderland, is take the sting out of whatever crowd is there and really control the tempo of the game, because we have got players who are capable. You wouldn't have thought it under Harris and the rest of it. I fancy Robinson to get a goal, and I fancy Colwell to get a goal. He's been really, really good in these EFL Cups, and I think he's coming in. If Colwell can have another good performance tonight, I think he starts in the league on the weekend. If Ramsey's not injured in his preferred position, I think he came on wide, which, as regular viewers will know, I don't really want to see Colwell playing in the wide areas. I want to see him be Aaron Ramsey's backup, but I thought he did a really good job out wide, even though it's not his preferred position. So Colwell, I'm looking to tonight to be the linchpin who gets things moving, gets things going. Get this flipping stream working would be nice. So yeah, Colwell and Robinson, the goal scorers, and we'll go 2-1 City. It's interesting. I think we have discussed this a few times on the pod, but interesting that when we tried 3-5-2 last year, the players seemed to struggle with it. But then when we played it in the EFL Cup this year, the players have taken to it, and I think that has got to be down to the manager and his coaching staff and the way they're getting across their message. I really like the manager's massively impressed me in the short time he's been there. It's early days, but to see these players who we've watched struggle be so comfortable on the ball and playing like Cardiff are playing some of the best football I remember seeing them play all the way back to the Dave Jones days. The way they've been just knocking the ball around, super comfortable. Impressed, I gotta say. Come on. 5 minutes to kick off. 7 minutes to kick off. What do you guys think? Reese's mum says 2-1 City. Which players are you looking for big performances, or which players are you looking forward to seeing play for Cardiff tonight? Is there anyone in particular you're thinking, yeah, looking forward to seeing what he can do? I'm interested in what you guys think. Obviously, Colwell has been excellent in this EFL Cup run, whatever you want to call it. But I'm very interested in what Cardiff can produce, because I think there's a massive opportunity. Chelsea play Brighton, so one of them is out. Brentford, Arsenal could easily slip up in that. Villa, Everton, Fulham could go out against Norwich. Liverpool playing Leicester, Newcastle, Man City. This could really open up this league, this cup. So I think it's important Cardiff keep their run going. I really do. Interesting. Just checking something out. Just had a notification. Say Someone's trying to access my Instagram account. Oh, piss off is what I say. I'm interested how Panzo does tonight. I got to say, I think I've been really excited to see how he does, because he's great on the ball, but he's a good defender. He's like you all know, I really wanted us to go for Axel Tuanzebe. I thought he was just what we needed, someone who's excellent defensively and equally on the ball. I thought he would fit with what we needed. He could play all across the back. However, by all accounts, the Forest fans I've spoken to all say that Panzo is top draw. So it'll be interesting to see if that is the case. He's got his chance now. He's had to be patient. So he's going to be keen to make a good impression, because he's going to want to push on and get a league start in place. So it's a big opportunity for all these players. Ebo Adams has, I think, probably surprised a few people this year with his performances. He needs to go again and do it again, because what it comes down to is, like, when you get your chance, you've got to take it. There we go. Now we're cooking. Perfectly legal, he says. Where are you guys watching it? And Runnison, like Runnison as well, was brought in to be number one, hence why he was he ended up getting in front of Anwick, which I think surprised a few of us. And I think Alnwick has also shown since then why he deserved to be the number one. He has done nothing wrong. He deserves to be up there. Just checking my stream, guys. Sorry, just bear with me. There we go. Oh, I don't want to watch the Brighton game. For goodness sake. Where are you all watching this, guys? Tell me. Send me the link, because at the moment I'm struggling for it. Keeps cocking up. I think Cardiff need to keep Tronstead quiet, and maybe that's why Robinson and Colwell might play as like a 2-10s to get around and in behind Tronstead and Garrett in those spaces and really not allow them to play. Also look out for Rankin Costello at number 11 for Blackburn. Good player. Him and Pickering in the wide areas from fullback will be important. And Sigurdsson up front is a very good player. So the defenders will need to be properly switched on. If they kind of go in with a lax attitude, then they'll be in. If they think they're going to have an easy night because it's EFL Cup, I think they'll be in for shock. Reese's mum says, I'm sitting on the sofa next to Reese on the other sofa in the house. There we go. That's the way, Tell me, guys, is it on Sky Sports tonight? There's me fucking about with all this. I could just watch it. Probably. Evening all, Matthew in the house. Matt, I haven't been able to locate that what you asked me for. I will have a look though. I was driving today up to see my son, so I will have a look. Every time I click on Cardiff versus Blackburn, it keeps giving me Brighton versus Chelsea. I don't want to watch that. It's frustrating me. But if you've got any questions, guys, you can always ask them. Always happy, with these watch-alongs. It's a free-for-all, isn't it? Just chatting. So, got anything to say? Got anything to ask? Do so. Hopefully you'll be all joining us tomorrow for Roger Gigs on Football, where we'll discuss all the different things. Don't want to waste my time talking about Jadon Sancho anymore, I can tell you that much. Fed up with these footballers, gotta say. Don't want to watch Chelsea versus Chelsea versus Brighton. I'll have a look in a minute when it's kicked off. Yeah, and please, nobody drop any links in the chat either, because we don't want to encourage that sort of thing. It's very important that nobody does that. What do I think of the rumours surrounding the sacking of Pochettino? Wouldn't surprise me. Chelsea is an absolute shambles, and Todd Bowley has got a sacking in him. I fully expect one of these days for Todd Bowley to be the first person to sack a manager at halftime and give the team talk himself. Chelsea's an absolute shambles, and outside of the finances, I cannot understand why any footballer in their peak would go there at the moment. Until Todd Bowley takes a back seat and gives it to football people and just lets football people do their thing, is going to continue to be a shambles. They got about 50 players. They're obviously got. I think they've just. You know what I think it is? I think they've just got too many players that it's almost becoming like it's already a joke. But like I think it's becoming a problem within their. I heard that in their training complex, they literally haven't got enough lockers for the first team players because there's so many of them. The Todd Bowley, yeah, he's been in the dressing room already. So if you remember when I had Cameron Jones on, and he said about when Solskjaer was manager at Cardiff, he told the story of Vincent Tan being in the changing room and telling him to play certain players and stuff. Like once that happens, it's game over for the manager, and it's a problematic scenario. Luckily for Cardiff, it seems that kind of side of things, died out quite as quick as it came. But I mean, it's comical to hear, isn't it? Now we've got Inter Milan. For goodness sake, what's going on, man? What's going on, bro? Pochettino, though, I got to say, right, if Pochettino fails at Chelsea, where does he go from here? Failed at Paris, left Spurs. Like, if he doesn't succeed with Chelsea, where does he go? I really like, because you're not going to get any more money than what you get at Chelsea or at Paris. So it's like, where does he go from here? Italy, maybe? Like, if Pochettino goes, though, and equally, who the hell would want that Chelsea job, really? Well, are they going to turn back to Frank? That would be funny. I would love that, actually, just for the giggles, to have old Frank Lampard back. He was comical. Get Gerrard in as well. Yes, now we're cooking. Love a bit of that. Let's refresh. See if we can get it going on there. Having all sorts of problems here. No, being completely honest, like if Chelsea's sack Pochettino, it just shows everything that's wrong with that football club. Like, you can't get him in the summer, laud him as this big, great appointment who's going to be the man to finally get you playing, and then sack him after a terrible start. When everyone and their dog can tell what the issue is at Chelsea. Got too many players. They like, it's going to take time to sort that out. So if they are, or if they do, or if the rumors are true and they sack Pochettino, it would be pretty disgraceful, I gotta say. Like, as much as I, find it funny, like, it would be about as disgraceful a decision as I could possibly imagine. But it wouldn't surprise me at all. Not even a little bit. In fact, I think it'll probably happen at some point. I think someone asked me at the start of the season who I thought was going to be the first manager to sack, and he would definitely be up there as just because of the shambles that is Chelsea. When you've got a team which is that shambolically run, the manager's always at risk, especially when you get off to such a terrible start. What did you guys think of the performance at Sunderland? What would you have changed if you had been able to, like, what would you have been more attacking, or do you think it was the perfect away performance against a team which are very, very good and particularly good at home? Would you have changed anything? I'm interested because I thought Sunderland were very good, and I thought Cardiff just gave the perfect away performance, to be quite honest. So, try another method. You'll have to keep me updated for a minute, guys. On a few issues with my side of things. We're going to do a watch along anyway. We're doing it till half time at least, and then we'll see how we go. Got to go pick up my nipper and stuff like that, but we'll certainly do it till half time. Let's have a look. Cardiff CD. Leicester 1-0 up against Liverpool already. That's what I'm saying about the importance of staying in this cup, because the big teams are dropping. So if you can just find a way to get through and keep getting through, I think there's definitely something to be said for just keeping winning as a habit. Like, it's so important. And Cardiff are on a good run, and I think winning becomes a habit. The morale lifts. Players have more opportunities to push for first team opportunities, like Sawyers and Rinamoto. Like, they need this EFL Cup to keep playing and kind of getting their opportunities, because they ain't going to get an opportunity in the league as it stands. So it's important. It's important for them to get it on. Blues. Xabi Alonso to manage Real Madrid too. Yeah, I think that'll happen at some point. Reese says, can't say we change anything now as we won, but personally, I'd like to see Wolves more as an impact sub these days. Yeah, I think they seem to want to play him when Ramsey's away for the experience, but I don't necessarily think that is necessary, because I think Siopis is super experienced. Wintle is super experienced. So I don't think you need it, but I think Joe Rolls, with his performances so far this season, has probably earned that opportunity to play when he's able to, because he's been very good. He hasn't let anyone down. Taylor Marie says, anyone got a link? Could do with one of them myself. I'm having a few issues with my normal port of call. Let's try this one. Oh, Xabi Alonso has already been announced, is it? Interesting. I don't really look at the other news away from Cardiff until tomorrow. And as like I said, Matthew says you can't find a game on anywhere. Yeah, I'm having a few issues finding it, mate. It's like it's on the various sites, but whenever I click on it, it takes me to a different game. And it's normally, these sites are pretty good, but I'm on to he'sgoal.top now. Let's see if we got one here. Obviously, don't condone illegal streaming, by the way. It's absolutely ridiculous and you should never do it. But if you find one, do not drop it in the link in the chat. Yeah, it keeps taking me to the Chelsea. Whatever one I go to, it always takes me to Chelsea versus Brighton, which is incredibly frustrating. Seems like everyone's having that problem. So we're going to have to revert to BBC Radio, or we'll just talk about Cardiff. We'll talk about, let's just talk. Let's just chat. It's the club. We're just going to talk to me. Ask some questions. Big opportunities. You're right, Matt. Some big opportunities for some of these players, because Rotherham on the weekend. Look at someone like Ruben Corwell, who's been doing quite well. He needs this run to keep going, to force his way into the first team starting place when Ramsey's injured. The manager clearly doesn't quite either trust him or think he's there completely from these performances so far, because he hasn't started him. So then it's a case of, where do you go from there? Arsenal 1-0 up at Brentford as well. It's going to be super interesting, guys, this cup this year, because I think, as I mentioned earlier, there's going to be some teams dropping out. Make winning a habit, always. Yeah, that's not working either. I think we might have to accept that we're not going to find one. If anyone finds one, don't drop it in the chat for everyone else. Rotherham away is, you're right there. It was that Reece, big test away, that is, mate. And I think you got to be aware, but that's why it's important to keep winning, isn't it? Because it's it just lifts everyone in the morale, performances, everything around just makes everything around the club lift. It doesn't matter what games it is, it just lifts everyone. And I like some of these players in the Cardiff team today. Like, I think the manager, I saw a couple of people on social media sort of commenting that, he's gone with a really young bench, which he has. Blackburn are winning. Don't say that. Don't say that, Matt. It's a big opportunity, and he's shown a lot of trust in the players which have started the game, because the bench is like as young. He couldn't have named a younger and more inexperienced bench. So the players who are on the pitch have got to play. They've got to do it. And I'm kind of interested by it, because it's going to tell you a lot about these players. Panzo wants to start. He's got to step up. Sviel says we conceded a goal in an unlucky moment. No, it's disappointing, but long way to go, isn't it? Long way to go. Blackburn 1 up. Garrett with the goal. It's disappointing. Cardiff have had 2 shots, 1 on target already, as per the Beeb. Jaden Dyer says, how are you watching it? Sky Sports News by the looks of it, buddy, because Reece, no comment, mate. Couldn't possibly comment on that comment. Yeah, unless Sviel has got a link there for anyone. I'm struggling. I've been trying to find it and I can't find one. I've looked in all my usual haunts. It's up there, but whenever you go to it, it doesn't take me to it. It takes me elsewhere. So If I do find one, I'll, of course, let you all know. DAZN just keeps taking me to Italian games. And then the other ones take me to Brighton versus... everyone's in here looking for links. We haven't got one, unfortunately. We're looking. We're Sky Sports News in it at the moment while we wait. Well, we all desperately look for one. It's weird though how it's up on all the sites, but it's not. None of the links are working. Doesn't iFollow do it, or do they only do league games? So annoying that is. Yes. What happened? So, speak to me about this then, right, guys? If Cardiff, do lose, right, and the 11 which he's picked, people like Rinamoto and Sawyers don't have a good game. They've been nowhere near the starting 11 for the league games. Is that them done in a Cardiff City shirt? Will they go in January? A few people saying that it was just a ball over the top. It's a defense which doesn't play together. Ebo Adams, Romeo, and Panzo. I can't imagine they've done a lot together because, even if they've done a couple of sessions this week, they wouldn't have played a lot together. Maybe a bit of confusion or out of position. Long way to go. So hopefully they can, get it together, get some of these players on the pitch, because we've got some exciting players on the pitch. But it's such a big opportunity for some of these guys. And it might be the last time they, if Cardiff go out, it could be the last time we see him in a Cardiff shirt for some of them. I'd like to, look, either way, I'd like to see Colwell Jr. I'd like to see Giles at some point, see what they're looking for. So Reece says it's hard to blame them. Not being involved, then asked to start is hard. It's a free hit tonight, good for fitness. Long season, so squad rotation is a key. They'll all have a part to play until January. Yeah, I think specifically Sawyers and Rinamoto, they've bet like in the league minutes maybe. Don't think they've barely played at all, have they? Like Ebo Adams has been ahead of them, and some of the other guys. Romeo has been decent whenever he's come on, and I think Ebo Adams has been all right as well when he's come on. Tanner, Panzo's obviously the backup centre back. Ruben Corwell's obviously coming off the bench a lot in the league, but this is a big opportunity for him if he wants to play. If Ramsey's out on Saturday, still against Rotherham, if Ruben Corwell can step up, 1-1, Matthew Angel says, I believe him. He wouldn't lie to me. Not on a night like tonight. 1-1. Get in. Get in the Bluebirds. Come on. I'll pretend I'm watching it. I'll go full goal bridge. Come on. Fucking dicks. Oh, that's massive, though, to get back in early doors. Don't leave it late. Talk to me, then, people. Callum Robinson. Who called that? Go on, son. What did I say before the game? 2-1 Cardiff City, Callum Robinson and Ruben Corwell to score. Wembley. That's what we want. That was the response we wanted, though. That was the response that we wanted. I'm still looking for links, me. I think I'm gonna have to admit defeat and just accept that it's not on. But isn't iFollow, speak to me, people who are more familiar with the iFollow thing, isn't iFollow supposed to be 25 yards? 25 yards from Callum Robinson, the best finisher at the club? Come on, son. Loving that. Absolutely loving that. Yeah, Reese says he found space in that number 10 role, rifles it into the bottom corner. Yeah, I like the club really, like the coaches and that, they really like Callum Robinson as number 10. Me personally, I want to see him as an out-and-out striker, and I'd rather Ramsey and Colwell be the 10s, but I do like the system that he plays in the EFL Cup with sorry, I lost my train of thought then. I do like the system that he sets up with, like 3-5-2 or 5-3-2 with the 2 10s behind the striker. I would just prefer the striker not be a Tete. But that's just one of them things, isn't it? You know? Oh, do you know what I've just realised? I've only got a Now TV subscription, haven't I? Turn my sound off. Let's get it on. If anyone does find a link, then obviously share it with the group, innit? There's nothing on Sky. Great response that is. Like Cardiff responds within 5 minutes. Jonathan says, to be fair, Ateti looks like he's putting in some effort again. He didn't look too bad against Sunderland and scored against Coventry. Yeah, mate, I thought his finish against Coventry was superb, really underrated. Like, really, really good finish that was. I just think sometimes he makes the press a bit disjointed because sometimes he goes and sometimes he doesn't. And I just wish when he goes and he presses, he's deceptively quick for his size and he causes some problems. I just wish sometimes that he would push on a bit and be like that bit more aggressive and all out. Because I do think there's something there with him. Maybe that's why I find him so frustrating. But sometimes he just seems like he's half-assing it a bit, mate, to be honest. I thought he looked all right against Sunderland as well. I agree with you. He looked up for it against Sunderland when he came on. But yeah, as I was saying, I do like this kind of system they set up with. Reese's mum says Atete reminds me of a child having a tantrum when he's on the pitch. Reese says he scored against Coventry, but doesn't work hard enough closing down. Far too weak, trying to hold the ball over. Just falls over and then sits down, sulking. Yeah, maybe. But I think he's still relatively young, isn't he? I would trust this manager to get something out of him if anyone's going to. Leicester just cleared one off the line against Liverpool. I've been really, really impressed with this manager. I cannot get that over enough. Baloo has been superb in the way he's gone about his business. I like the way he tactically seems very, very astute and seems to be very aware of the dangers that the other team possess, but also has got players who, in a lot of cases, who was that who just missed that open goal that was in the Chelsea-Brighton game? We got players playing now for Cardiff who, in as recently as last season, looked like they were terrible footballers, suddenly look like they're pretty decent, that's interesting to me, because that's down to coaching and the coaching staff and the manager getting those players to buy into what he's coaching. And clearly Mark, clearly Harris and Morrison and anyone else, Lamucci, maybe to a lesser extent. I think Lamucci just set us up to try and stay up. I I think that says a lot about a manager that so many of these players are buying into it. I'd be interested, actually, how Atete goes about his business today. Like, not in this first part of the game, but as the game goes on, because our bench is so young, man. Like, there's no escaping how young our bench is. So he's relying on the players on the 11 on the pitch to do the job. So Atete's got a massive chance to stake a claim that he should be starting over Ugbo. It's up to him, isn't it? Reese says the game changes when he comes on. We just lump it long. He loses it, fails to win the header. The opposition recycle the ball and turn it into attack. He invites pressure, and then we concede. I don't know, mate. I do agree with you about the long. We do seem to go long as soon as he comes on. I think there's been small signs. I agree with who was it? Was it Jonathan? I agree. I think there's been some small signs that Atete is starting to maybe get his head in the game and become a bit more for the team and do what the manager expects of him. There's clearly something there, mate. You don't finish like he did against Coventry if you haven't got something about you. Like, that was a superb finish. So when you've got someone who's got that ability, it's just about getting the best out of them. And hopefully this manager is the man to do it. Reese's mum said that Wembley, again, out of the 5 of us who went last time, I was the only one that got searched. Must look dodgy, don't it? Troublemaker. Because you went up all Stone Islanded up, didn't it? And you're just like looking for trouble. Yes, that's what it is. Reese's mum causing mayhem up in London. Realistically, then, here you are, then, guys. A question for you while we're just chatting. If Cardiff do not make any more signings this season, so they don't bring no one in January, the squad stays exactly as it is. No one leaves, no one comes in. Who or where do you think Cardiff, under this manager with this squad, are capable of finishing? Like, how far up the league can he take us come the end of the season? Is the squad deep enough? Will he be able to keep it up consistently? You tell me what you think, and then I'll give you my opinion. But I personally think Keeper Moore comes in January if he's not playing for Bournemouth. But obviously that will remain to be seen. Reese says, I think when O'Dowda comes back, I prefer to see Karlan Grant through the middle. He's strong, can hold the ball up, chases the ball down. I think he might make a better target man. Do you know what? I don't disagree with you, mate. But on the other side of it, I do really like Karlan Grant on the left. I think he gives the manager what he wants in terms of protection. Like, he protects Collins and he works so hard. I think that's massive. But we'll see in it, I guess. Jaden says 6th at worst, 9th, I think. 6th, the worst, 9th. I think that's that. If Cardiff finished between 6th and 9th after the last few seasons, I think that is a massive step in the right direction and a good start for this manager to build a project. Like, I think I said at the start of the season when he first came in, Cardiff have got to be committed to him in that. Let him build for the first season. Just don't be in a relegation battle. Top half would be a good start. Second season, fighting for the playoffs. Third season, there's got to be then playoffs. I think that's a building blocks, putting things in place. But I think it surprised me and maybe others how quickly he's been able to get these same players, plus a few new ones, playing, and it shows like by you saying like sixth, ninth. Matthew says I think Atete is still very young, 21, and he'll only get better, and Eric will help him massively, I believe. Keep the faith, guys. Reese says depends if we stay injury free. Siopis and Rambo stay fit. I'd say 12th, 1 or 2 in January, and we could look to top 8. Something says 6th. Jaden says he adds to what he said. He said we're capable of 6th, but I think 8th if we can't keep it up. Consistency in it. January, if we're in the top 10, I'd like to think that the club would spend some cash. Maybe they try and get Kiefer Moore not on loan, because Bournemouth are willing to sell him. We just couldn't buy him in this previous window because we weren't able to because of the sanctions. But he was close to coming on loan. It was other deals which ended up costing it. So, Ruben Colwell assist for the goal, by the way, as well. Good shout. I think it'll be interesting how the season progresses. I do like that he's rested Siopis and Wintle today because they've done so much running in recent weeks. Kiefer Moore to buy, I think you're talking like 3 million, I reckon, 3 to 5. Depends if he plays. Like, if he doesn't play till January, I don't think Bournemouth can ask for too much. So, you're looking at a few million, which I would question whether Cardiff have got. But I don't know. Be interesting, wouldn't it? How much Bournemouth would ask for him. I don't know how many what he's got in his contract either. Let's see if I can find that out. Yeah, they do. But if he hasn't played for Bournemouth and he's not playing, like, I don't really see how they can ask loads because he's just a player who's just not playing. He's on the bench tonight, like, so he's not going to play in these games, and he's probably not going to play at all, is he? He's made a couple of appearances this year. Right, I was trying to find out when his contract's up. Yeah, I think Kiefer Moore would be a game changer, providing Siopis and Ramsey stay fit. Siopis, I got to say, like, he is so vital to the way Cardiff are doing at the moment. He has made Wintle better. He has made Rawls better. He's protected the defence. Reece says 1.5 million, I'd say, in the summer, 2.5 in January. I don't know if Cardiff have got that money, mate, to be perfectly frank. I just don't, like, even if we can. Sfiel says, doesn't give me confidence that we're coming out with our reserve players. The bench is the word. Like, when you look at the Cardiff bench tonight, I don't know whether that is. I tried to look at it on the positive side of he's trusting the 11 squad players to do it on the pitch. And he's saying to them, I trust you, so make sure you go and do the job. But if they don't, we are looking at kids, literal kids. I do hope we get to see Colwell Jr. and I hope we get to see Giles tonight. Either way, regardless of how the game's going. But I mean, I'd be surprised if he makes no subs. So it'll be interesting how Cardiff navigate those substitutes. Sorry, just texted my son. Excuse me for a bit. Ashford's one for the future, Matthew says. Watched him with the under-21s a few times. He's got real potential. Yeah, mate. Maybe he wants to have a look at these players. Maybe he wants to have a look at some of these young kids and see if they can do it in a big game, you know? It's risky, isn't it, to not have any first-team players on the bench? Really risky, that is, I think. So, trying to find... So, Kiefer Moore signed for Bournemouth in 2022 for supposed to be 5 million, but I can't find anything to say how long his contract was. Too many screens open now, I think. Doing the podcast, brother. Oh, Blackburn Rovers. God damn. Blackburn 2-1 up. Sigurdsson said that he was the danger man. Duffy. God's sake. It's going to be a high scorer. It's going to be a high scorer. 4-4. These kids are going to have to dig Cardiff out at this rate. As always, boys and girls, if you've got any questions on anything, just give us a shout. Also, shout out, by the way, if you'd like to join patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Price of a bag of chips per month helps keep the channel going, allows us to go record stuff at Eat Sleep Media, and you get like exclusive content and rewards and stuff for very little, but you get lots. Helps us out a massive amount. Don't normally do the watch-alongs. Obviously, this Wednesday night slot is normally just a Cardiff City podcast where we talk about the games and the shows and whatnot. But seeing as there was a game, it seemed pointless to do a podcast talking about the Sunderland game while the EFL game was going on. So we thought we'd do a watch-along, and then we couldn't find links. So now we're just having a good old chat. Jane says, well, I did say 4-2 and Blackburn score next, so my prediction's still on. Go on, Jaden. Yeah, that's my worry. Sfiel says, if we can't make it 2-2, we'll probably won't be able to come back and we'll keep conceding. Yeah, that's my worry, is that we'll sort of keep conceding as we push on. On Ashford, Sfiel said he scored 4 goals in a single match in the Welsh Cup. Get him on. Get him on in the second half, man, because we've got to... I would really like to see us stay in this competition tonight, but it's going to be difficult. Away's change says another goal coming before half time. I certainly hope not. Over 4.5 goals, 100. That would be a shout and a half, I gotta say. Nice one, Reese's mum. Matthew says, what's your thoughts on this cup? Would you like to progress to the quarterfinals with risk of injuries and more games, or get knocked out now so we can concentrate on the league? No, mate, as I said earlier, when we were talking before, I think it's winning. Just keep winning. It's such a good thing for the morale around the club and just everything. It gives players like Sawyers and Rinamoto, who haven't had a look in the league, games. It gives Ruben Corwell a chance to play from the start. It gives these players time to get, Robinson's getting some more fitness. It gives Ebo Adams, Panzo a chance to stake his claim, Romeo, people like this to get games, Runnison. But also, if they can keep winning, it just keeps that. Everyone's happy if you're winning. But look, and then if you go out of it, it's just, it's only the League Cup. Who gives? We're just going to concentrate on the league. But I think that winning becomes a habit. And I think that if you can keep doing it, you should keep doing it. You should want to win every game. And yeah, it breeds confidence. As Reece says there, winning breeds confidence. I want to win. However, I feel tonight is a free hit. Squad rotation, formation, everyone gets minutes, puts themselves in the shop window. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be disappointed if he takes off. Who are we looking at? Robinson. Takes off Tanner and Corwell quite early. Gives some youngsters a go. I'd keep Atete on. I would keep Sawyer's Rinamoto on. I'd keep Ebo Adams and Panzo on. I'd probably rest Romeo, maybe. The rest, Kieran Evans, I'd keep on. Like, I'd keep the ones who are definitely going to play first team football. I'd keep them fresh. So I'd probably give them an hour. Some of them I might take off at halftime. Get the kids in. Like, we want to win, but Ashford, Giles, Colwell on the bench. I want to see those three a lot. I wonder whether they'll swap Colwell for Colwell. That'll be a nice little moment for him. But who knows? Oh, should have scored that, whoever that was. Villa. Off top of your head, can someone tell me, are Leicester still beating Liverpool? I'd like to know. No, mate, I couldn't get a link, bro. Away James, so no commentary from me, my friend. Couldn't find one. We're just having a good chit chat about Cardiff and about a football, watching the stuff come in. But every Wednesday we do Cardiff City podcast. Obviously, it's slightly different today because we're playing. But normally Wednesday's the Cardiff City and Championship slot. Talking all things Cardiff. But let's see. I'd like to see some of these youngsters get in. Who else we got? Kroll. He sounds familiar. Yeah, I think I the more I think about it, Leicester still beating Liverpool. That's good to be. I think, the more I think about it, I do want to win the game tonight. But the more I think about it, I think I would take off Colwell, Robinson, and the other one I said I can't. Tanner. I'd take them three off. And James Kroll's another one who's supposed to be, tidy. Give him a chance, isn't it? Got to play. Here he is. Robert Earnshaw. Yeah, Kroll's supposed to be good as well. There's a few highly rated youngsters on the Cardiff bench, but it's a lot to ask them to come on and rescue the game for Cardiff, But then it's a free hit as well, isn't it? Like Reece said, no one's expecting miracles from the youngsters. So let's just get them in and get the first team players a nice break. They've got an hour, get an hour in them, and then get the youngsters on. Do you reckon Vontae Campbell gets on today? Strange one, that, isn't it? 22, he's come to Cardiff and hasn't. I don't think he's made one appearance. So. Tanner and Kieran Evans wing backs dilutes their best attributes. Tanner staying wide and high is most effective. I don't disagree, mate, but I think I don't want to say needs must, but I think for what they're trying to do, he's just trying to get him a start, get him wide. He's capable of doing it. He did a good job of it in the earlier rounds. Blackburn, no slouches, and what Blackburn have done, which is quite clever, is they've got their two first choice or one of their first choice fullbacks, and then the highly rated fullback on the other side. They've got two really good holding midfielders, and they've got their best forwards playing. So they've got a mix of players, but they've got like strong players in certain positions. Matt says, I look forward to seeing Errol's press conference after the game. I love the way he addresses the media and the fans. Be interesting to see his reasons behind the selection of the youngsters. Yeah, mate, it will, because is it what I said? Like he trusts those 11, and then he wanted to show them that it was on them, see how they responded. It's a good test of mentality, mate, for those players. For the 11 who start, it's a big test of their mentality, knowing that there's kids on the bench. Some will go one way and they'll be lax and lazy because they'll think, oh, he's not going to bring on the kid for me. And then others will be like, they'll take responsibility and they'll try and push on and say, well, no, like the manager's trusted me to do my job, so I'm going to go and do it. I'm not sure if that's what will happen. It's difficult to see it because we're just seeing clips and stuff, unfortunately. Just coming up to half time now. Just looking at some of the stats from the games. Doesn't seem like a particularly end-to-end game, although Blackburn have had 10 shots, only 2 on target. Cardiff have had 4 with 2 on target. 2 corners for Cardiff, 3 for Blackburn. Lots of fouls by Blackburn. Nice goal before half-time now. Going 2-2 would be a big boost, wouldn't it? Big boost. Don't want to concede, though, right before half-time. What would you do now at half-time then, guys, with these subs? Would you bring any kids on? Would you keep it as it is? Or would you take off the first teamers now at half-time? I think it's the 3 I mentioned, Tanner, Colwell, and Campbell, Robinson. They're the 3 I worry about because they're the 3 which I think are most likely to be used. And then you could maybe look at Atete and Romeo as well. But I was looking at the subs bench. Like Kroll is a forward player. Campbell is a forward player. Ashford, Giles, they're all quite attacking. Colwell. So I wonder whether are any of them defensive? Matt says, I'd give him 15, 20 minutes, 10, 15 minutes second half, let him have his team talk, see if that makes a difference. TC Aquat, we're not, unfortunately. We've the links didn't work, so we've had to just go with nothing. Are you winding me up, Jaden? Now, don't do that to me. It's really frustrating to not be able to watch it. Go on, the City. Come on. Watching on Sky Sports News, TC Aquix, because we couldn't get a link to work. We found a million links, but none of them worked, my friend. So we're just having a chat. Atete always said he was classic. I like it, mate. I like it. The Bluebirds are still in it. And this is what I'm saying to you about these players. It's their chance. Like, if you think they're going to just kind of phone it in because, here we go. They're not going to phone it in just because kids are on the bench. Like, you'd like to think that it would really, like, boost them. Here you go. Atete. Oh, go on. Oh, what a goal that is. Another great finish by Atete, that is. Little turn. Loads of men around him. Beautiful touch to bring it down. and then he just turns it onto his right foot, surrounded by Blackburn defenders, and fires it into the far corner. Absolutely, that was superb. Second time, mate, that Atete now in the space of a week has finished unbelievable. There's great finish by Atete. The touch to bring it down and then turn and with all those defenders around him. You're right, Jaden. I did call it. Goal before half time, mate. Get in. But yeah, the touch to bring it down and turn like that under pressure right before half time is massive. And Jonathan, I go back to what you said earlier, mate. There's just something about Ateta. He's got something. I can see why they keep sticking with him, even though people are getting frustrated, including me, getting frustrated with him. When you see the finishes against Coventry and the finish tonight, Atete is gossiping. Just got that bit of quality. It's how you can get it out of him on a regular basis. Imagine if he could produce that quality week in, week out, and work his nuts off, work hard. Because sometimes I think that's the problem which City fans have got with him, myself included, is he doesn't always do that work. But that was a quality finish, I've got to say. Cosme says, excited to see Panzo play. Yeah, I really... I think the only thing which has kept him out of the starting 11 is just Mark McGuinness has been superb. So this is a big chance for him. From what I've seen, he couldn't have done much about the goals. He uses the ball really well. And yeah, he's got something about him. I like him. Let's have a look if you can get live stats. Blackburn v Cardiff. Player stats. See if we can get the live player stats up and have a look at some of the boys' stats and how they're playing. I'm kind of interested how some of the, like, you know, the EFL Cup is what it is, but I am interested in how some of these individual players do. You know, Callum Robinson's got himself a goal. Very good. He's getting more fitness. Ruben Corwell's got an assist. Atete gets a goal from the little ball in from Sawyers. Like all these little things, they give boosts to players individually. And right, here we go. Let's have a look at players. Footy stats. Jonathan Panzo. Can we get his live stats up? Don't know if we can. No, you can't. That's a shame. I was hoping we might be able to see it. I'm not sure, mate, about the full game Sullivan L. I'm going to see how we go. I'm going to stay for a bit. I'm still waiting for my son to text me back and stuff. So I've got to pick him up for his girlfriend, and I've been driving all day. So I'm a bit grumpy. But we'll see how it goes, mate. Like, you know, if I find it very difficult to pull myself away at the best of times. And when we're talking Cardiff, it's even worse. And that goal before half time has made me want to stay a bit longer, you know. But we'll see. But we'll see, innit? We'll see how we go. Yeah, anyone not got a website which allows you to look at the live stats of individual players? Can't find one, but I'd be interested to have a little look at Panzo in particular. I'd like to have a look at his stats. Yeah, the boy in uni he's sold all right, mate. I think it's helped him that when he got there, he found out that he's living with one of the people he's living with is someone he already knew. And one of his other friends is like in the next flat along or the next block of flats and stuff. So I think that's helped him to just kind of settle and recalibrate. Reese says, isn't it great to be able to put the rest of our be able to rest our best players and still play our competitive squad? It's kind of interesting, mate, because like these same players have been failing, a lot of them, for the last couple of seasons, but they're still going, you know? It's mad, man. It's mad. I'm not going to say that on you, Matt, just because there's people, people are weird, mate, don't they? But I'll tell you privately, don't we? Let's have a quick look. I don't know. I'll try again on the stream, innit? Should we try and see if one of these streams is working now? It'd be nice if we could like watch the second half. Tana Cracker coming up, Jaden says, soon. Be nice, mate. No, I reckon Ruben Corwell's going to bend one in. Edge of the box, top corner. Bang! Now, I think Corwell Jr. is going to come on, change the game for City. That's my prediction. I've been told he's a bowler. He's a bowler. Well, if he's like his brother, he's going to be good, isn't he? But I was told by a reliable source that he's better than his brother. Potentially. Will that be true? You know, there's a lot of pressure in it. I think it's even harder when your older brother already plays in the first team squad. I think it makes it even more difficult. Oh, I got a link working. Oh. Ah, fuck off. It's Wolves versus whoever Wolves are playing. Got excited then. Thought I'd found one. Very disappointing. Wolves versus Ipswich. That was yesterday, wasn't it? So. Right, so that might be a working one. Interesting. We'll leave that one playing just in case it's highlights from the last night at halftime. Unfortunately, not Zach. Sorry, mate. We're struggling for it. If you find one, drop it in the chat. Reese says, here's a question for you, Si. Do you look at sending any of the loan players back in January? And if you can't get more, who do you look at? Well, first and foremost, if I was in charge of the club, or like in charge of that side of it, I'd be getting Keeper Moore. 100%. That's who I'd be getting, because I think he's the missing piece to the sports fact. Okay. Let's have a look here. Yeah, I think Keeper Moore is the one for me, mate. I think that's the one you need. I think he's the missing piece in the system. I think he's the missing piece in the squad. But it just Hugh Nicholas says no streams, but it's on Radio Wales. Appreciate that, mate. Thank you. It is frustrating, isn't it? Like, I found the reason I said do watch along is because I looked on my normal place and it was up as a game, and it ain't there. In terms of sending players back, mate, Reese, I'd like to know what Josh Bowler's injury is, because if he's not going to play, I would send him back. Like, if he's out till whenever, like late in the season, I'd send him back and try and get another winger in. But I don't know what his injury is. So there was a rumor a couple of weeks back that he was nearly back, but I don't think he's been in the squad since. So I think, Let's have a look if I can find it. News on it. He's got a car. So he pulled out of the Sheffield Wednesday game with a calf injury, and we haven't seen him since, which is a bit worrying. The manager was asked about him last weekend. But then in that, he said, in the same press conference, he said the only people missing are Dowda and Josh Bowler, and then obviously Ramsey didn't play. It's interesting reading his press conference back from pre-Sunderland. I'm really fascinated by these academy boys on the bench. Malachi Fagan Walcott, has he got scope for the first team? The manager said, I think our guys in the academy and under 21s have made a good job to sign this player. We're close with the under 21 coaches. So if he's at that level, we'll keep an eye on him. That's really interesting because and then obviously he's in the squad tonight on the bench. Matthew says, here's one for you tonight. Here's one for you. If we win tonight or when we win, would you prefer a top Premier League or a lower team? Like, I want to just get as far as possible in the competition, and I want to, it's not the same as the FA Cup, but winning is a habit, and I think the more winnable games you can get, the better. Quite frankly, Reese says Bowler, O'Dowda, Grant, Tanner, Mate all playing wing for us regular. Robinson, Ramsey both play 10. Ruben and Corwell needs games. So, for me, Mate would be backup, or Mate and Ugbo would be your target men, and Robinson. So that would be my three central strikers. Grant and O'Dowda would be my left wingers, and Tanner and Bolo would be my right wingers, and Ramsey and Ruben Corwell would be my number 10s. Don't think the manager sees it that way, though, unfortunately, in my opinion. I would like, because we know Ramsey's going to miss games, I would like Ruben to get the chance to play number 10 whenever Ramsey's out. I thought he did really well in his cameo versus Sunderland. I thought actually he did a good job defensively, but he also, his switch ball that he played for one of the chances was superb. And that vision, I think, he's not like your average number 10. He's a big boy, man. And he's really clever, really skillful. So I just think, like, I get it. Like, to me, if you were going to send him on loan, he should have gone at the start of the season. I think now that he's played first team football, I think you should keep him around. And it's just looking like Bowler's got to be fit. If Bowler's not going to be fit anytime soon, I'm thinking of sending him back, because you've got the emergence of Tanner. Robinson can play wide. So it's like all different things, isn't it? I like Mate through the middle as well, man. But I don't think his finishing's quite up to it through the middle. He gets a bit flustered. Sorry, guys, just texted my son who I'm supposed to be picking up. Matt makes a great point. Tonight, the average age of the 9 players on our bench is 18. That is wild. Like, that is literally, like, when I started reading the bench, I was expecting to see like a couple of experienced players, like, down at like a load of kids, and then one or two experienced players on there as well. But it's very unusual to see a bench that is just kids. Look, I don't think I think personally, unless we get injuries, we probably won't see many of them. If I was guessing, I'm reckoning Colwell, Ashford, maybe Kroll. That's 8,000 plus people watched Wales ladies last night. They got battered in the end, didn't they? I think that's what Matt says. But that's wicked crowd, man. I got to get this thing off the floor. It's bugging me. Yeah. So come on, Rovers. Come on, Craig. Come on, mate. Got a link for the game? Because we're all struggling for it. So we're just chatting shit, innit? Yeah, that's a wicked crowd for the Wales ladies, man. Shame that they couldn't get a result they wanted, but 8,000 plus. How many Jackans at Blackburn tonight? Like, all together? Got to be a few thousand there, isn't there? Blackburn normally have decent crowds. Anyone know how many Cardiff took up? How many did we take up this year? Or this evening? Doesn't look like a massive crowd, does it? When you look at the highlights of the goals and that, but it's going to be really interesting to see how the second half goes. Yeah, Wales women lost 5-1. Sorry. This is a big second half for these players. 307 Jade said that's not bad on a weeknight. Like, it's a fair trip as well. Liverpool have equalised. Gakpo. Do you know though, right? I think like, this is a big no link watching Sky Sports News. Yeah, cheers, mate. That's what we're doing. I think it's a big second half for Cardiff, because certainly the first 15 minutes, because the bench is just like Matt said, it's an average age of 18. They're all kids. There's not one experienced player on there. 3-2 Blackburn. Fucking hell. Great start, isn't it? Get the kids on. 4 minutes into the second half, and Blackburn, who Andrew Moran highlighted him at the start of the game. Fuck's sake. Let's have a look, is it? Oh, they didn't show it yet. It's exactly what Blackburn needed, though, and wanted, just to settle it after that goal just before half time from Cardiff, just to settle it down. Oh, that's a good finish by Nicholas Jackson for Chelsea. Really good finish. It's what Blackburn needed, isn't it? Because when Cardiff scored right before half time, would have given him a lift, would have been bang up for it. I was just in a process of saying, like, a big 15-20 minutes for Cardiff. They needed to come out firing because they got nothing but kids on the bench, and nothing, not even a peep. Just conceded another goal. How depressing. So going back to Kiefer Moore, I can't believe that he's on a bench in an EFL Cup game. Bournemouth are at home as well against like Stoke were not having a great time with the fact. If Kiefer Moore can't even get a game in that, like what? I don't think the manager fancies him, you know. So I think it's time he moves on to Welsh climates. They're going to show this Blackburn goal. Oh, Panzo's going to get caught on the ball. Fuck's sake. Oh, mate. Tell you what, right? Was that Panzo then? I think it was Panzo. That was so avoidable, that goal. Like, I admire the way the Cardiff try and play, and I admire bringing it out. But when you're surrounded by 3 Blackburn players, you cannot make a mistake with the pass. You cannot make a mistake with that. And good press from Moran. I said at the start, Moran and Tronstead in the middle were going to be a problem for Cardiff. And so it's Tronstead, Garrett, Moran. It's a good little free, that is. And yeah, such an avoidable goal, man. Such an avoidable goal from Cardiff. Sloppy. And to get yourself back in the game before half time and then throw away that equaliser with just such a sloppy goal that's the first time this season that I remember us giving a goal away that is just absolutely somebody's fault. Ben, we're not, mate. Unfortunately, none of the links work, so we're kind of watching it on Sky Sports News and just having a chat. Obviously, Sky Sports News is showing the goals as they go in and stuff like that, mate. Please do join us. Get involved in the chat. But yeah, that goal was massively avoidable. And to get yourself back in the game, knowing you've got only kids on the bench, to go and do that right after half time is poor, really poor. And I've bigged him up as a player. I was really think could do well for us this year, and he's just made an error. Hopefully, he can come back from it. Craig says, "Where do you think Cardiff will finish this season?" To be honest, mate, at the start of the season, I said for this manager, we just need to build, not be involved in a relegation battle, finish top 10. I think everyone's been a bit surprised with how quickly the manager's been able to implement the way they're playing, and they've been playing well. Obviously, there's a lot of changes tonight, but if they sign no one, 4-2, fuck's sake. Blackburn just missed a penalty as well. So what happened then? Fucking hell. Get the kids on. Sorry, Craig, just going back to what I was saying. I think anything in the top 10 will be a really good achievement compared to where we've been in the last couple of seasons. Really have been impressed by the manager, although I will be very interested to know why he has only gone for kids on the bench tonight, because we are throwing this away in the second half. Jesus Christ. I do not understand what we are doing. So Blackburn missed the penalty and then scored a screamer. Fuck, no closing down whatsoever. They're all stood inside the box there. To be honest with you, now I'm getting the kids on. I want to get Tanner off. I want to get Colwell off, and I want to get Robinson off. I'd probably give Atete a bit longer, and I'd give Romeo a bit longer, but get Beecher, Ashford, Colwell Jr., get them all on. Like, give them some genuine time, because we're just throwing it away now. So I want to see those first team players they've got some minutes in their legs. They need to be rested for Saturday. Craig says, I think Blackburn will struggle this year. We got Leicester on Sunday. Can't see us getting anything from that. Yeah, mate, I got to be honest. I was really impressed with Blackburn for the last couple of seasons. I really enjoyed the football they were playing. But over the last maybe 6 months, 8 months, something's going on there, and it just hasn't. Something's not quite clicking, and it hasn't quite gone as well as it was. And you can see there's a problem. They kind of tailed off towards the end of the year last year. It's interesting. What do you think about that, Craig? Like the way that Blackburn have kind of been really impressive the last 2 seasons, really, and then they've just really tailed off when they've needed to kick on. Fuck's sake, can't believe that. Yeah, it's just been Ben. We just found loads of links, and that's why I said about doing a watch along, because we obviously do the Cardiff podcast on the Wednesday. So I thought, oh, it seems we're playing at the same time. I'll do a watch along, but before I announce it or before I say it, I'll check. So I went to my usual place to get the links, and it was up there and it was ready. There was loads of links. I was like, right, okay, cool. And then when we went to load them up, none of them worked. We had to look around everywhere, and just no links are working at all. And yeah, I don't know what you guys think. Like Cardiff fans in the chat, would you make the changes now, or would you bear with it for a little bit longer? It seems harsh to throw the kids in, but you know what the kids will do? Yeah, that's the one I looked at, Ben, and they're all on there, but none of them work, do they? They all take you to different, like Brighton and Italian games and stuff, which is really disappointing. But what would you guys do now? Would you bring the kids on? I think you've got to rest like Colwell, Robinson, and Tanner. You've got to rest them for the weekend. You can't just blow them out and do 90 minutes. At the end of the day, it was a free one tonight. So you're going to put all those kids on the bench. You may as well play them. That's a good save in the Villa game. Who would I put on? Beecher, Ashford, Beachford, and Colwell would be my first 3. And then I'd think like Kroll and Giles later on, possibly. Yeah, Zach, I agree. He deserves a rest, mate. I'd like to keep... Colwell alongside his brother is a good shout. And I suppose with Ruben, he hasn't played as much. Like he's been playing more cameos. So I suppose you could give him... It depends how fit Ramsey is. Like if Ramsey's struggling for Saturday, I think you've got to get Colwell off because we're struggling. Unless that's why he's given so many minutes to Robinson, because he's going to play him maybe. Craig says, think the owners are the problem, promising the manager funds for players, then pulling out last minute. We should have sold Diaz when we had the chance. Yeah, talk to me about owners, mate. It's so frustrating when you got owners who do certain things, and they're only in it for one thing. Unfortunately, they don't care about us fans. That's for sure. Jane said, I just came back to see us conceding again last year. We wouldn't care, but because of how good we've been, it's so disappointing. Yeah, I think you got to put it in context, innit? Like, there's a shitload of changes, and realistically, out of the 11 who started for Cardiff, I think the only one who probably starts on the weekend or has a chance of starting on the weekend is Tanner, possibly Robinson. I don't think Colwell will start. And I don't think Panzo is going to start now after that mistake. Romeo, so you've got 11 players who are not going to play in the league game, but this is their chance as well, that's why it's disappointing, because you've got 11 first team players and then you've got a bench of kids. Those first team players should be absolutely busting a gut, especially after scoring just before half time. They should have been so bang up for the second half. So then give away a sloppy goal, which is just a mistake. Then give away a penalty. Then when the penalty's saved and you get another lift, and then you just throw it away. The fourth one was a good finish, in fairness. But Moran, as we said before the game, good player. Good finish. But I'd get some kids on now. I would, just to give us a bit of a, because they play with no fear, mate. Like the kids will like come in and they will work and work and work, because this is their big chance. They ain't gonna fuck about. They ain't gonna half-ass it. Matt says, "Done not good body language for me from Panzo goal. Gave the ball away and just walked back and watched. Surely should be busting a gut in case it's saved or rebounds. Not great." Mate, I think the fact that there was 3 of them round him and he lost it. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Reese says 60 minutes now. Time to make some changes, freshen it up, get the youth in. Yeah, get them playing, mate. Get them playing. They'll play with no fear. You never know what can happen. Got to get the 1 or 2 off, ready for the weekend. Very disappointing second half, I got to say. Craig says, off football, do you have an Xbox been playing? Got something on my screen, what's that say? Starfield, excellent game. I have got an Xbox. It's right by my knees, by here. And my son, who's just gone to university, is trying to get me to give it to him. Beaches on. It's a good start. And Kroll as well. That's good to see. Highly rated, both of them. So let's see what they can do. My son is trying to pinch my Xbox up in university, and he's using the excuse that that's how he'll keep in touch with his younger brothers. But I'm thinking of starting to do some streaming on Twitch as well. So I'm like, how much do I love you? But I haven't, in answer to your question, I haven't played Xbox for ages. So it would literally be like a 40-year-old man learning to play the Xbox again, which I'm not sure there's much scope for, you know. But I'll have to see Starfield, see what it's like. So Beach is on, Kroll's on. Interesting, he took a Tete off. He likes him, doesn't he? Maybe Atete has just not been very good. But then, that finish from Atete, though, mate, was wicked before half-time. That touch and turn, such quality. It's frustrating you can't get that out of him on a regular basis. It's got to be like a psychological thing that he's not able to put it together regularly. He is young, though. He's only 21, 22. It's whether we can get going now, can the youngsters get them going? Can they kick on? But it's going to be fascinating. As I always say, guys, if you want to support the channel, join patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Literally, pack a price of a bag of chips per month. You get exclusive content, rewards, all that sort of stuff. We've got multiple shows per week. Wednesday is the Cardiff City Sprug Championship show normally, but obviously with the game. Thursday, Rodri Giggs on football with me and myself and Rodri Giggs, talking all things football. We focus a bit more on the Premier League and stuff there, but we do talk Championship as well. Saturday is My Story, which is a podcast which I film in studio with all different guests and all sorts of people on there, musicians, actors, rappers, bands, footballers, whatever you like. That's actually on a break, though. This is the last episode of the series last Saturday. We have a members-only show on Monday where we talk about all the things you're not allowed to talk about publicly. What else do we talk about? What else have we got? Got all sorts of stuff. Check out the channel. Give it a subscribe. Give it a like. You go back, there's a whole, probably 18 months worth of shows featuring a different professional footballer, past and present. Every Monday was what it was. Go back and have a look. Some great interviews on there. I got another one coming up with former Birmingham City player Paul Devlin as well coming. We were supposed to record that tonight actually, but he had to postpone. But we'll be doing that again soon. That's what I like to see. Middle-aged men talking football and video games. Get in. Bringing people together. See? Ace Podcast Nation. Bringing people together. Just start a men's club. where we just chat shit. Yeah, it's not looking promising for Cardiff City from what I can see and gather. A couple of substitutions. Blackburn have bought I can't pronounce his name, but he's good. Smodic. I quite like him. I saw him play the other week. He's come on for Sigurdsson, and Britain's come on for Pickering. I think they're going to shore up a bit now. Be interesting how these youngsters can do though. When the problem is you never get like full highlights of these games. It's so frustrating. The non-TV games, like you get like 4 minutes on YouTube or something, but you're never able to get like a full-blown, 15-minute. Oh my God, Chelsea doing their best or Leicester doing their best impression of Cardiff there at the back. Just trying to play through the press, failing. Interesting. And we'll see, innit? We'll see Cristiano Ronaldo in the chat. Cardiff City is a great team in football. You're right, mate. The greatest. Cristiano. Shoo. Right. Do I stay or do I go now? So I promised my missus that I would leave by 9:15 so I could go and get my boy from his girlfriend's. But I'm having a good time. So I'm going to hang around for a little bit. See if Cardiff can get one back. See if we can get one back. I'll hang about until Cardiff either get one back or 75 minutes. We'll see where we stand at 75, and we'll go from that. What do we reckon about Newcastle, Man City? Who's going to win that? You reckon Newcastle can go on another Carabao? Oh my God, surely that's a goal. Newcastle have scored, surely. No. They have. Newcastle won up against City. They're going again. Yeah, it'd be nice, Ben, if like a couple of these youngsters could get in and make an impact. Like, what a moment, if like Crawl, they're, in fairness, he's picked literally the most highly rated youngsters at the club, like Beecher and Crawl, and Colwell's supposed to be better than his brother potentially. I'd like to have I would like to see Colwell get a game. I wonder if he might come on for his brother. Who else we got? Ashford scored 4 in the Welsh Cup. So just be nice to get one back now, innit? And just make it like interesting for the last sort of 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever. Frustrating, isn't it? But it's just the way it is, isn't it? It's just the way Cardiff play. So we've changed our formation according to the BBC now to more of a 3-4-2-1. No, that's what I said it was going to be. Oh, BBC is shit, isn't it? Absolute garbage. Garbage. So look what Wales Online saying. 5-2 Blackburn, fuck's sake. Bollocks. Right, guys. It's been a wicked pleasure. I've been talking like non-stop for 2 hours. I've had a long fucking day, and this has just ruined it. However, I want to say a wicked thank you to everyone who's joined and chat and stuff like that. And listen, like, if you're all you new guys, if you subscribe and drop a comment and stuff like that after, I'll keep doing like watch-alongs and stuff, whatever. We'll get together. We'll have a good old chat, innit? It's good. Oh, it's a screamer from some Scouser. Subitzis or whatever his name is. Just call it a screamer. However, I really appreciate you all. It's nice to see. I was just gonna say that, Matt. Nice to see some new names in the chat and that. And if you want to become a member, get extra content and stuff like that, patreon.com/AcePodcastNation. Wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't push that. That keeps the lights on, keeps the channel going. We got loads of content coming tomorrow night, 8 o'clock. Myself and Rodri Giggs talking all things football. Make sure you join us. But until then, bid you farewell. Appreciate you all. Take care. God bless.